Hi, everybody. Um, Happy Wednesday. Welcome to week 6 of online learning. I chose a picture, a throwback picture to earlier this year to try to remember some of the good times, like when I lived with these wonderful pets, Frida, the miniature schnauzer, Sam, the black cat. It was a good time. Now my pets are gone. I can't get a haircut. As you can see, it's sort of like it's getting out of control. Um, but the sun's out and um, it was warm this weekend, and I went outside for a little walk in a face mask, and that was beautiful. And I even got sunburned by accident. So, whoops, be careful, everyone. But yeah, I hope you're doing good, and let's get going. So this week's lesson is going to be a continuation of our discussion about rights. Last week we learned about the right to vote for women, and that was a right that was fought for and is now part of the American Constitution. This week we're going to talk about a right that is not currently part of the United States government, but maybe it should be. And it's called universal basic income. So we'll be talking about what is it, what are the benefits, the costs of it, and should this be a right for all Americans? Before we do that, some quick announcements. As always, I'd like you to choose one of the 3 activities we have on offer. So you can do the history lesson, or activity 2, choose your own topic, or read the news. And all the instructions are in the document. Pick one of those 3. I also have a bonus this week. And that's for you to play this video game that's totally related to what we're talking about. It's where you pretend to be a civil rights lawyer. And it sounds kind of crazy, but it's actually really fun and satisfying. And I played it for like 45 minutes the other day and then had to make myself stop because I had work to do. But I think you might enjoy it, especially if you're interested in learning more about what rights people have today. And if you're at all interested in being a lawyer, which some of you should be really thinking about, it's kind of a fun game. Anyways, check it out. Um, so as you know, our class schedule changed this week. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. I think the most important things for you to know are that our classes are meeting online twice a week. Mondays and Wednesdays. If you're in A block, it's from 1 to 2 p.m. And if you're in B block, it's from 3 to 4 p.m. Sign on, I'm there. A bunch of folks signed on Monday, and it was a great way to talk about the lesson, also check in with each other. So I'd really encourage you to attend. You are not required to attend the entire time. Often people will talk for a little bit, and then folks will go do their work, and then we'll talk again a little later. But this is a great way to feel like you're in regular school again, a little bit anyways, because you can get sort of live question and answer and a little bit of social contact. I really hope to see you there. So Mondays and Wednesdays, either 1 to 2 or 3 to 4. All right, let's jump into this week's lecture. So if you are joining us from the worksheet, we are on step 3, which is the notes section. And these are the universal basic income notes. The first note says, with a right to universal basic income, blank Americans would receive a certain amount of money from the government each month. With a right to universal basic income, this picture is a hint, all Americans would receive a certain amount of money from the government each month. That's it. It's kind of simple. Every adult in the United States would get a certain amount of money, $500, $1,000 each month. That's why it's called universal, because it applies to everybody no matter what. You have a job already, you still get it. You don't have a job, you still get it. You're rich, you get it. You poor, you get it. Everybody gets it. It's universal. I think the other important thing in the name here, though, is that it's a basic income. We're not talking like enough to go on a fancy vacation. We are talking sort of enough to maybe get you some of the things you need. So it's not going to make everyone millionaires or rich or anything like that. But the idea is that it puts money in people's pocket so they can use it on the things they need. Maybe instead of having a whole bunch of different programs to help low income people, a program for food, a program for housing, a program for healthcare, a program for college. Instead of that, we could just give people a basic amount of money each month and they could use it how they want to. If they don't spend that much money on food, then they could use the money on housing or however they want. It lets people be in charge of their own lives. It's kind of a cool idea, definitely an interesting way of dealing with the issues of poverty, of people not having enough money in the United States. The second note says that UBI, Universal Basic Income, can help solve the problems that will come from automation or when jobs are replaced by blank. We've got a little hint at the bottom there. Automation is when jobs are replaced by technology. So here's the deal. You might have noticed this. Technology is getting better and better. In many ways, this is a great thing. We have fast computers and phones, and we can do all sorts of new things. But there's a risk in this, because what if our technology gets so good that it actually starts to replace people's jobs? So for example, imagine self-driving cars are so good. Suddenly, anyone who has a job as a delivery person, driving a truck, working in Uber, a cab, anything like that, they wouldn't have a job anymore because the cars would just drive themselves. So how are those people going to take care of their families? Same if you work in a factory. What if they develop technology so the factory can have robots that do all of the things themselves? You don't need a person anymore, or you don't need as many people anymore. It could be really bad for people's jobs. This might seem far off to you, but to me, it actually is helpful to think about going to the grocery store or CVS or whatever. I don't know if you have one near you that has the self-checkout, but that's an example of a machine taking the place of a worker. When I was a kid, there was no such thing as a self-checkout, and you always had someone working at the register to charge you for the groceries. Not the case anymore. So stores can have fewer employees, which means fewer people have jobs. Maybe there's some benefits to this, but there's definitely a risk. And if there was a universal basic income out there, then even if you didn't have a job and you couldn't find a job, you would still be getting paid. And this is a really interesting idea right now because we're in the middle of this coronavirus pandemic. And many people see UBI as helping with the problem of blank. This big problem in our country right now, because of the coronavirus, besides people's health, is the issue of unemployment. So many businesses are shut to keep people safe. Millions of Americans have lost their job. And the thing is, it's not even safe for them to go out and get a new job right now. And there's not even jobs for them to go out to get. So, you could be hard and be like, nope, I'm not going to help you. You need to find your own job. But if there's literally no jobs and it's dangerous to do jobs, then we need to find another way to help people. And UBI is a great way to do this, to just put money in people's pocket so they can take care of themselves in times when having a job isn't viable for them, isn't going to work. So that's what this right is all about. It's cool. It could solve a lot of problems. Of course, kind of expensive. Maybe they'd have to raise taxes. They probably would, but maybe it'd be worth it, So that's the question that you're going to be answering today. Should UBI, Universal Basic Income, be a right for all Americans? That's all I got. I will be available on my computer. Email me, leave a comment in Google Classroom. Also, feel free to text me. My number is right on the screen. I respond pretty quickly. And probably the fastest way to reach me is to sign into our regular class time. So I hope to see you there. And I miss you all. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.